yourself comfortable, sir. How
Thank
lovely
you very
to
much.
see you here again. Thank you for joining us on the show.
A pleasure.
I hope this isn't out of term, but you're 82, I believe, at the moment. Is that correct? 83 in May?
That's right.
Well, congratulations in advance for your birthday. Showing absolutely no signs of slowing down, I'm delighted to say. Just about as busy as a man can be the last 12 months. You've been honoured with 2 degrees. Can I tell everyone your full title now? Sir David Attenborough, OM, CH, CVO, CBE, FRS. That's like my national insurance number. And most excitedly as well, you've just had a fossil named after you as well.
I have.
OK, now, do you know the name of the fossil? Can you remember?
Of course. Okay. Matapisces attenborough.
Wow. Matapisces attenborough.
Yeah.
And this is, how old is this fossil?
About 500 million years old.
Yeah, you see, now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because if you name one after Bruce Forsyth, he'd be furious.
Well, it's not... I do actually worry about why it was given me.
And do you know why? What did they say?
Well, the thing about this is it's a fish, 500 million years old. But up to that time, everybody thought that fish reproduced by the female putting down the egg.
Lazy
and
eggs
the
over
male
there.
comes along and, you know, that's that. Right. But this fish has been found with its baby attached to it by an umbilical cord.
Oh, my goodness.
So that baby was born inside the female fish.
Like we are, like warm-blooded creatures tend to be.
Exactly. So that means that this is the first animal on planet Earth ever to have, how can I put this, copulated.
Intercourse.
Yeah, intercourse, indeed. But why have they named it after me?
Because you're a sexy older dude. Well, congratulations. What
Thank
a
you very
wonderful
much.
thing. Now, I've got a box set. I've been given the box set to have a look at, to study, and I've so enjoyed Life on Land, a DVD encyclopedia. The most remarkable collection of moments that you have filmed, I think. It's a 15 DVD box set. You can imagine how much information, and it covers just about every life form on the planet.
Yep, it does.
And the index system is marvellous because you've obviously made it easier for people to find stuff and to look at... Presumably this is your kind of crowning achievement, I would have thought.
Well, honestly, it is. I mean, I found that one way or another, over the past 20 years, I've been making series about big groups of animals, about birds and mammals and so on. Now, we put them all together. Everything. But they've got these electronic tags. So you've got a little index there, and if you look up anything in that, duck-billed platypus or whatever you wish, and then it'll give you 3 numbers, and you put the disc right in the skin.
The disc number, the chapter number.
And then, bingo.
It's incredible. So you can say you want to look alarm calls of different animals. No, you know, I don't know why you'd be particularly interested in that, but alarm calls of animals, and you can see, you go to one, there's the Arabian babbler, another there's the black buck, the chiffinch, the chittle, the fieldfare, the ground squirrel, the impala. Animals you didn't even know could talk. Well, not they talk, but you know what I mean. The monkey, the robin, the sandbar, the great tit, the wren, the zebra, everything there that makes an alarm call, and you can find it, and there's an example of it.
There you are.
Wow. It must have been a big job to do
Well,
this.
it was a big job for the people who did the technical thing of finding out how to put those electronic tags in and enable you to do it. And I honestly think it's a first.
You know, I mentioned earlier on, I was kind of like half joking, but surely there can't be many animals or many life forms on the planet even that you haven't seen, that you haven't encountered firsthand, that you haven't experienced.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about species, I mean, there are millions of species, so you'll be there forever. But the main types we've dealt with.
It is quite remarkable that you've managed to get so close to so many different species, so many different animals, so many with different defence systems and mechanisms, and not been badly hurt, not been mauled yourself or bitten. I mean, you must have had a few close shaves, though.
Well, I hope we've been careful. I mean, one of the problems, of course, is that if you've got a dangerous animal, you know what these television producers are like. They say, well, there's that dangerous animal. You come over there and you talk to the camera, and you have to turn your back to the dangerous animal. So, I mean, it's quite alarming to try and remember what it is that you think you need to say when the animal's behind you.
Yeah, yeah. And some of them are pretty big, aren't they? I mean, you know, you've been close to bears and...
Yeah, well, that bear was one in question.
Well, the bear footage recently that I saw just made me fall in love with bears. And I was going to ask you something, because you spend a fair amount of time talking about their hibernation period and them stocking up on food and coming up. But am I right in thinking that in certain areas where man is encroaching on their natural habitat, that's all they're not hibernating for as long or as much or as deeply? We're affecting their whole pattern.
We are certainly interfering with things, yes. And one of the problems, of course, particularly everybody knows now about polar bears. I mean, those are one of the problems. But as the climate is changing, so all these habits are changing. And whether nature can keep up with the rate at which we are changing things is one of the problems.
It is terrifying, and it seems to be dawning on all of us more and more with each passing year. And the footprint that we're leaving behind, as I said, do you think it's reversible? Do you think that we will learn? Because even now, you know, we all know this, but still, I drove here to work. People driving their cars everywhere. We still jet off on holiday. People are still doing all that, despite knowing what it's doing.
Yeah, well, we can never go back. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Even within 2, 3, 4 generations, we won't go back to what it was like before the 18th century. No. But we can slow down the rate at which we change. And that's very important. Very important. Not only for animals, it's important for us, you know, that we accommodate to these changes.
We're a pretty hardy breed. What I really want is for you to look in the camera and just tell us all it's going to be okay, Sir David. That's really what I'm after. But you can you? No. Okay. Let's have a look. Well, you know, the work you're doing here is helping to educate us, and maybe that will encourage us to preserve what's left. This is a clip with a trapdoor spider, which is the most remarkable thing. Let's have a look at that. There's no way you'd have known that was there. Are they... The trapdoor spider, is that venomous? Would it
yeah.
Affect, so would it affect an animal as big as us if it bit?
Well, it would give you it'd be an unpleasant bite.
There must be things, though, moments where you've seen these animals and you're still amazed at what nature provides, at how things have developed, how things have grown. Your series on Darwin, which was tremendous, of course, I think maybe helped persuade those who were still uncertain as to the origin of the species that there is a lot in that. And you got a few kind of naysayers, didn't you? A few people came your way who wanted to dispute the truth in...
Well, there are people who believe that the book of Genesis is literally correct, who believe literally that when God had made Adam, he then put him in a trance and did something and took a rib out of Adam's side and then said something and it turned into a woman. Now, if you believe that is literally true, then there's nothing... I can't argue about that because you're believing it on the question of what's written on there. But if you want to know... there's other ways of knowing about the natural world, and that is to go and look at it. And look at it as it is now, and look at it as it was when you read the fossils. And that tells you a different story. Women didn't come into existence like that, if you believe science.
Do you yourself, are you a religious person? Do you believe in God?
Well, put it this way, I do not think that knowing that life has developed from the simplest forms over 3,000 million years, as awesome a story as you can possibly imagine, I don't think that necessarily means that you can't believe in God.
So that's a kind of agnostic view of things, right?
I mean, my view is that I don't know one way or the other, but I don't think that evolution is against a belief in God.
How are you with the modern world? When you travel, do you take with you an iPod?
Yes, I do all that.
Yeah. And do you download?
Of course I do.
So you put your own...
Well, I put my own... I put discs on. Yeah.
Books on tapes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What about the internet? Do you use that ever? Does that help you in work?
Not much.
Have you ever Googled yourself?
That's a very, very rude question. I'm not going to ask it in public.
My kids are on it all the time. I mean, I limit the time they're on it, but one of the things I found useful is that, you know, you can communicate with them in a way that they understand. It's quite quick and easy. And I believe that you have Skype set up, don't you? You have the internet viewing system.
Well, what I was saying is that actually these days, the way you can communicate with people all over the world. I mean, I've got grandchildren in Australia. I can talk to them. And that's wonderful. Yeah. I mean, the family is not... I mean, you know, only 100 years ago, that if someone went to Australia, that was the end of it.
Well, even 20 years ago, to phone someone in Australia was not only a huge expense, you had to book the phone line and stuff like that, didn't you?
Oh, gosh, did you ever?
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? What about your travelling, though? Do you ever see yourself stopping or cutting down on the travelling? I don't mean due to health, I mean just, you know, in terms of, we were talking about the environment.
Well, I must say, my heart sinks when I go into an airport, doesn't yours?
Yeah.
And, you know, and particularly they're overcrowded and people shrieking at one another and so on. And that does get me down a bit. But when you get to the other end, they're fabulous things there.
Is there anywhere you haven't been, though? I'm more curious as to whether there are parts of the world where you still think, you know what, one day if I get the time, I'm going to...
I wish I had been able to go to Tibet before China was there, you know. The old, I mean, that must have been going back to the Middle Ages. Yeah. It must have been fabulous.
Well, who knows? Maybe they'll open up. Maybe it will change.
Well, it's opened up now, but it's different.
Where do you stand on undiscovered animals of the sort that we're excited about, but perhaps not there? I believe the study of it is called cryptozoology. I don't know whether it's an actual science or kind of made up thing. The Yeti, the Abominable Snowman, Sasquatch, the Bigfoot thing, the Loch Ness Monster. Do you think there's those sort of things are out there that we haven't found?
I don't think there's a Loch Ness Monster, because if there was one, there would have to be 2 or 3.
Yeah,
There'd have to be a family. And if it was an ichthyosaur or something, an air-breathing creature, it would be coming up all the time. So I don't think that. But I am absolutely baffled by the Abominable Snowman, which is also called the Yeti or the Sasquatch, because very, very convincing footprints have been found. Yeah. What made them? And I'm talking particularly about Abominable Snowman, which have had footprints at 18,000, 19,000 feet. Nobody goes up to 19,000 feet just to make a joke.
Certainly not barefoot.
No, certainly not
You'd have
barefoot.
flip-flops on at the very least, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's right. So I think there's an unanswered problem there.
Wow, so there probably is. You think there might well be? Oh, that's exciting. Let's do a show.
Why not?
Let's go, well, you know what?
It's a deal.
I don't want to travel there. Let's do a show like with Andrew Lloyd Webber. You could still be the Abominable Snowman. You know? How exciting. That would be, wouldn't it be great if they found something like that? Because that's really what would excite us, I think, more than anything, is a big kind of species.
Well, what about a fossil fish? There's only the first fish to actually copulate.
Yeah, not as interesting, I'll be honest with you.
It's very, very interesting.
I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't even want to be named after that. Or have it named after me, should have been the joke. I get so excited when I see shows, partly because I love finding out about the world, and I know that I'm going to see it, but also because, you know, I can show it to my children, and it's weird. I don't know if you've experienced this, but when I have one of your shows on DVD or when I know it's coming on, almost always, it's a hard sell. I say, come and see this thing, we're going to see a thing about bears. But the minute it starts, and they see the incredible photography that your team have captured for us, and your voiceover comes in, and it's clearly you know what it's speaking about, they get hooked. They're there for the duration. So this might seem selfish, but I hope you don't plan on stopping any time in the near future.
I don't.
OK. Ladies and gentlemen, will you join me in saying thank you to the one and only Sir David Attenborough?
You're very kind.
Much welcome, David. Lovely to see you again. Thank you so much. Sir David Attenborough, ladies and gentlemen.